Day 10 of Browns training camp here. The day after Joe Thomas goes into the Hall of Fame, they are back on the practice field. But we're going to start with some stuff before practice, Mary Kay. We heard from Stump Mitchell this morning. He talked about Nick Chubb. He talked about Jerome Ford. And this is a big year, obviously, for Jerome to kind of step up and be that number 2 guy behind Nick.
Yeah, I asked him, is that a big pair of shoes to fill that you have to step in there for Kareem Hunt? He admitted that yes, it is. And what he has to do is he must show that he can be in there on third down and not only catch the ball or run the ball or whatever they might want to do with him there, but he's got to be able to block on third down. So if he can do all of those things, then he might end up being able to be the third down back. But it's a very tall order, and they have big plans for Nick on third down as well.
And also, they have to make a decision. Do they want him still returning kicks if he is the number 2 back? He was very good at that last year. Some of that might have to do with Jakeem Grant's health and kind of where he stands on the 53-man roster. But Ashley, again, just Stump talking about the importance of Jerome. And, Stump's going to put pressure on a guy, too, if he thinks he needs to work a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of coach that Stump Mitchell is. Like, he's always talking about different things that Nick could do to improve as well. Like, he talks about his patience. I know that's common with Stump. He's very, I think, hard on these guys in terms of being aggressive but patient runners. So that's kind of par for the course. And I think, like you said, Dan, I think with Jerome Ford's key in the return game, it's going to be all about Jakeem Grant and what he can do. But I think what was important is that it helped Jerome build confidence last year.
Yeah, he didn't get a lot of touches last year, so that kick return game helped. Now, in the secondary, we heard from Brandon Lynch today, and Mary Kay, he said tip of the spear a bunch. They're the guys who are, we talk about the pass rush so much as being sort of what this defense is based on, but that secondary can help a lot there, too, to maybe, make the quarterback hold the ball just a little bit longer while they cover. But the big thing was matchups. They've got so many different body types, guys with versatility, even Denzel Ward. They're going to be playing the matchup game this year.
They really are. And, of course, a big question mark is who is going to be playing in the slot a majority of the time? And it really does seem like at this point, Greg is going to be a primary guy in there, Greg Newsome. He's out right now for a little while with a groin injury. Thomas Graham Jr. was somebody they were looking at as their nickel corner. But, you can roll different guys in there. Denzel will be tried in there. You can try some of the safeties in there. So it's a little bit of a work in progress right now, but I would say that versatility in the back end is key.
I mean, Ashley, when I kind of close my eyes and think about where these guys in the secondary can play, I get excited. So Brandon Lynch knows way more about football than I do. He's got to have fun on that whiteboard with body types like Martin Emerson, Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, and there's other guys in there too.
Yeah, we talk about this all the time, but I think especially the 3 main guys, like what's so intriguing about this room is Martin Emerson looks so different from everybody else. But we talk about it with receivers a lot of the time. You want receivers with different body types, skill sets. So obviously the same goes for your DBs, and especially Martin. Like what's so exciting I think about him is not just his size, but how physical he wants to be. Like he's got that long 6'2", 6'3" frame, but he's not afraid to get up in a guy's face, even though he's pretty quiet. So all in all, it's interesting to see how they're kind of moving those guys around to create those matchups.
And by the way, we noticed at the Greenbrier, Denzel looks a little bit bigger this year, so something to keep an eye on as well. Now, on the practice field, the passing game, a little bit off today. Some missed throws from Deshaun to Amari Cooper, and but still some nice connections with Elijah Moore. It was just sort of up and down. But Mary Kay, they were also missing some guys on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, they are in pads today and tomorrow. Then they have an off day on Tuesday. So they're going pretty hard, and it was hot out here today. I think the fans can attest to that as well. But as you mentioned, there were some guys that sat out today. No Miles today. No David Njoku. A couple other guys were kind of resting today. But they got good work in. It was a lot of situational stuff. They did, they did some red zone. They did some no huddle. And like you said, it was a little uneven. I saw Deshaun and Amari trying to connect a few times. It didn't go exactly the way they wanted it to a couple of times. But, that's what training camp's all about.
Yeah, we got a little scare with Amari, Ashley. You and I were right there. He kind of pulled up after a catch, but he looked fine. He was back out there doing team drills, so sort of a big sigh of relief there after that pass. But, yeah, this was really kind of a day for the defense, I thought.
Yeah, like nothing really stood out to me or jumped out at me about the offense. I think in individual drills, I did see Elijah Moore with a nice comeback route. I think it was going against, MJ. I'd have to look back at the video. But other than that, it's nothing really jumped out. I think the defense is just kind of been the story lately, these last handful of practices for the most part.
Okay, Browns back on the practice field on Monday, then again on Wednesday. We will cover everything. And again, have more videos and podcasts coming your way, all at cleveland.com/Browns.